heal, to the praise and glory of your name, through Jesus Christ our Lord.
Amen.
We'll pray for all the members of OSL, and I have a list that I helped put together for the service. When we're online, we're now doing Conklin instead of evening prayer, and Father Paul asked Susan and I to merge that long list. So I don't know if you had a chance to see the list today, but what I did was I had people with COVID: Dee, Jamie, Roberta, Steve, Carrie, and Dave. They're all people that have been told to me. None of them, as far as I know, go to this church. They're friends of friends. Then we have people with other illnesses: June and Buddy, Everly, Brian, Laura, Michelle, Krupp, Michael, Tina, Walter, Bob, Joy, Priscilla, Fran, Lillian, Bishop Dominic and his wife Claire, Lois, Linda, Sheila, Nancy, Bill, Dale, Marge Mason, Sandy, and we have you down as her good friend, Susan, St. Kiernan, Charmaine Suarez, and we have a Janina that Karen Tessa gave us for the Peace of the Souls of Sister Jane, Jean, Paul, Christopher, Connie, Joe, Matthew, and we added two more, John and Linda. May they and all the faithful departed rest in peace.
Okay, all right.
Perpetual shine upon them. For those who have been healed or had prayers answered: Marjorie, Karen, Kay, Mary, Bill, and Dottie. For the armed forces: Todd, Captain Carlo and company, Christopher, Nicolo, Stephen, Jason, Joseph, Robert, Michael, Robert, Luca, Abraham, Robert, Blaine, Nico, John Benjamin, Timothy, Colin, Nicolette, Chaplain Colonel Jim, Colonel Mark, Wayne, Wesley, Luke, Chaplain John, John W., Joseph T., Nick, Bill and Hank, and Zachary, diocese and clergy, Bishop Chip, Father Paul, Father Austin. I haven't heard anything in years about him. I don't, in the whole year, I don't know how he's doing.
Right.
Missionaries in the field: Penny, Darlene, Richard, nursing home, Henrietta. Lord, in your mercy, hear our prayer. So I don't know if there's anyone else that we should add.
Yeah,
Right.
the list there.
Tell me. I reduced it from that 2-page.
I had heard the Marjorie. Oh, Molly. You just mentioned.
Marjorie Redmond?
No.
Marjorie Redfern is in the.
Marge Mason.
Yeah, she was gonna go for surgery.
Yeah,
But
what is wrong with her?
her esophagus, she told me.
So she's going to surgery?
Yes, and she talked to me a couple of days before the fair, and she was devastated because she wanted to help me.
Oh,
And she
yes.
said she couldn't. And
She
her,
does the
I think it's her
jewelry.
granddaughter's getting married in maybe like another week or 10 days. So she was hopeful. And I said to her, with the COVID, people that need surgery like she does have been put off because the hospital's loaded with all these cases.
Well, sure, they're loaded with
Yeah.
the vaccine that people
Yep.
don't want to take. I know.
Just to notify both of you, we're live on YouTube.
That's
There we
okay.
are.
And were you able to get through to both Tracy and Joy?
I sent
But we
the
don't know if
YouTube
they're on.
invitation to Tracy and Joy.
Do we know if they're actually on though?
We're not sure if they're actually on.
Well, we'll
I could
find
actually
out
check.
later. Okay, then the prayers of healing. Now, my understanding is we can do prayers of healing on that last Sunday. We can't really
Excuse me,
touch
man.
people, so I have to find out from Father Paul how we're going to do that. Because we probably could stand, in different places when people are finished with communion, like we used to by the side doors.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm assuming that we can't really put healing oil on them or touch them. Now, this morning, Father Paul,
So I have to
stood
find
beyond
out
the healing
from Father Paul.
rail, the kneeling rail, and what he did was he had his mask on. We had our
Yeah.
masks on, and then he allowed us to stand. He put hand sanitizer on, and he just put his hand on our head and said a prayer. He didn't actually put healing oil and
well,
touch
that's
our
what I was
forehead.
wondering. If we could just put the hand on their heads.
That's what I guess, but I'll double check with him before, so we can do that. Now, other discussion, the treasury. In this last year, the church has their major accounts at investor savings. But what happened was investors changed their policies and they started charging us more, believe it or not, to deposit money and more by number of transactions and writing checks and all this. So it was beneficial to the church if we combined all of our organizations' treasuries into the church's treasury, so that ECW, the Men's Club, the Altar Guild, OSL, trying to think what else, Daughters of the King, one or two other, we're all in the church's treasury. And what Jerry Ann was doing when we had the vestry meeting every month when we got the treasurer's report, then on the list at the bottom would be the title and the name and then the amount that was listed there. Now, I'm not 100% up to date because what happened was Jerry Ann looked on Saturday for me to update, and she somehow, couldn't get any recent one, and I didn't have time to go back through all the vestry minutes to pick up what we had. The last one I had was from about a year ago, and the only difference, because we haven't added any money. All we've added is interest. So the last amount was $1,133.01 and 51 cents. I'm sorry. Now I would assume, so we had September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. So that's 10, 11. We've got about 12 months. You got about another $1 on there. That's what I'm saying. It. I will update this. I have to go back in the old vestry minutes, but I just wanted to alert you. So we don't need a treasurer or co-treasurer anymore. I told Krupa about that before she left because we don't have to sign anymore. The treasurer signs, and I just hand them the money and they deposit it when they deposit the others, and then they keep a record and add it to our account. And I think it would be a good idea. When I first started, we had a regular convener and a co-convener, and that was Bernice and Irving. And then at one point, Irving stepped aside so I could be the co-convener. Then Bernice decided she couldn't do this anymore, so I became the convener.
Yeah.
We don't have a co-convener. So I'm suggesting that we add Bill as the co-convener, because it's good to have a backup in case you never know.
Oh, yeah.
Never know.
So if that's agreeable with all of you.
Yeah, you know how to
Okay.
run a meeting, right?
I do.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
I ran many of them.
I'm only kidding.
She's pulling your leg. Okay, then for the induction of our newest members, both Margaret and Carol completed everything about, I would say, spring of 2020. And it was our intention to install them or induct them as full members when we
Thank you,
had the healing mission that we were supposed to have in May of 2020. But because of COVID, that didn't happen. And then we were going to, Carolyn Ray, who was going to be our speaker, we kept in touch for a couple months, and she had suggested, October. And I told her at the time I didn't think so, because with our bishop's restrictions, even if we did it on Zoom or whatever. And so I did talk to Carol. I tried to talk to Margaret. I can't get that woman. I just can't.
No,
So,
yeah,
I know. I couldn't get her, so I don't know. So what I did was I emailed Carolyn Ray and asked her for her suggestion on how to do this. And she gave me two options. And so the one option is, because Father Paul is our chaplain, he can do it at a service here at the church. The other option is that Carolyn Ray could do it on Zoom at probably the Quiet Walk or one of those. So I talked to Father Paul this morning. I asked him, would he be willing to do it here at the church? And he said, yes, he would. I have a copy of the service that we would do. So we just, before I came here to this meeting, we decided that at the October meeting of OSL, we will induct them at the, the healing service. We will induct Margaret and Carol, and I will, attempt to call both of them and attempt to help them realize and I'm fine if you want to tell her, Dottie, but
No, I won't tell her.
it would be the October 14th. It would be part of the healing service. And then we would go on to our OSL meeting. And it's only because of COVID. That is the only reason that held this up. If we did not have COVID, they would have been inducted
Yeah, right.
over a year ago.
Sure.
But, it's one of those things.
Yeah.
This COVID has really
That
put
put
a
the
number
kibosh
on
on a lot
all
of
of us
things.
everywhere beyond
did.
any of our understanding or
Now we got
capacity.
another variant.
Yes,
Oh,
and
that
blue.
Delta
There's another
blue,
one
whatever it
besides
is,
Delta
variant.
now. They have
Huh.
another one. And, the
Unbelievable.
latest ones, it's sad that a lot of younger people won't get vaccinated and now the children are
I
getting
think that's,
sick.
they're very
they're dying.
selfish when they don't do that.
Yeah, and the children are
I
dying.
have a cleaning lady that I've had since I came down
Yeah,
here, and her husband died in January of COVID. She will not get the vaccine. Can you imagine? I said, you have two sons at home.
yeah,
What are you doing to them? She said,
Right.
well, they don't get it either. I said, that's because you don't.
yeah,
I said, you're the only parent left.
Right.
I don't know whether it's me or what.
No,
I just
it's
don't
not you.
understand.
A couple of weeks back, there was an article front page of the Asbury Park Press, and it showed a couple, they were maybe about 45 years old, and the man is hooked up to all these gadgets of the hospital. I don't know what all they were, respirators and stuff. And there's the woman sitting across from him, and she's in tears and saying, "Oh, I so regret that we did not get the
Yeah.
vaccination," because
Yeah.
with the vaccination, chances you could still possibly get COVID, but chances are very much
They're slim.
minimalized. And if you did get it, the chances are that a lot of people that have received COVID, then it shows up when they get tested, but they don't get sick. And it's just sad that people don't think of others. I really, I agree with you. I think
It's
it's
selfish because
important.
there's a lot of people that need some kind of surgery,
Right.
and they're all wrapped up with these people that are sick with
Oh,
COVID.
yes, I agree.
Like the guy who had lived with me, he never got his shot. And that got him out of eviction.
Wow. I mean,
Well, a lot of them believe everything that's on the Facebook and
Yeah,
all
they
that
do.
stuff, that it's
That's a
gonna
lot.
hurt you this way or that way, and I don't know.
well, they actually believe more the, hip hop stars and all the stars out there. They don't believe medical people that are, actually saying, this is the best thing
And
you
they've
can do.
tested it, my goodness, they've even tested it on children.
Right.
They're doing
Yeah.
fine.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
This is,
I know.
I
Well,
don't
in
know.
general, if the majority of people that can get vaccinated would, this would peter out and die off. Because, we're always going to have the germs for pneumonia, cold, virus, we
Yeah.
are, flu. But the thing is, less people would become ill and we would share less germs. It's one of those things. So
That's
So
true.
while I have everybody here, I'm assuming, Greta, that you're still 6B Lenape Drive
Mhm.
and your number 350-7584.
You
And I'm
want my
assuming,
cell phone number?
yeah, I'll take that because I want to make an updated list and then I'll bring it next.
732
Yes,
232 9944.
very good. Thank you. And then Dottie, I have 24B Valley Forge Drive, and we don't have your number listed. Do you want to share it with OSL people or not?
I'd rather not.
Rather not. Okay.
Well, Greta knows.
That's okay. And I know I have it too.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you have it,
Right.
I think I have it too,
And
Donnie.
then I think
You
I
have it to me too.
I will catch up with, I will try to get Tracy Benner's stuff on there so we get that for them, and I know, then I can update this because this is woefully out of date, really is. Then I didn't know if anybody had any book reports, reviews, sharing, whatever.
Yeah, I
But-
got that new book by, oh dear, it's called Amen.
Oh,
Amen.
yes, I heard about
What's
it.
his name, the author? Isn't that terrible?
Well, it's either Charles Stanley or, no, Joel Osteen.
No,
No,
you used to get the books for me through,
Barnes and Noble
yeah,
sometimes.
yeah.
Or from the
Oh,
Christian
Turning-
bookstore.
I can't think of
Not
his
David
name.
Jeremiah, right?
Never Jeremiah.
No,
Stanley?
no.
OSL has a website, which I
It's a
think,
wonderful book.
yeah.
I'll bring it in next
Oh,
time.
okay, that
Yeah.
sounds good.
Yeah,
The OSL has a website and I wanted to catch up with books on there. OSL, believe it or not, in this year with the COVID, has been active worldwide. They went on Zoom and they went all over the world, and they've had different meetings and workshops. I went on one for conveners back in December.
Max
Lucata.
Mikata.
Yes, yes.
Mikado.
Ah, thank
That's okay.
goodness. I know I've been taking Prevagen because I don't want to lose my memory and then I can't, but it comes to me
It comes
after.
and goes. I
Max
get it.
Lucado.
I think I own this book.
It's a
I got it at
wonderful book.
Barnes
I
and
love it.
Noble.
I
Mhm.
love his
I
writing.
love his writing.
Yeah,
He's a minister too.
I
so-
know he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm,
Is
Very.
he on Amazon? He must be on Amazon.
probably
Oh,
is.
yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
Trying to
No,
do
but
that, too.
I'm on Amazon.
Somebody, it was because Sandy ordered it for me through
Oh,
the
that was
internet
nice.
on Amazon.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's how I got it.
Well, I
Yeah.
get that Christian bookstore catalog, and
Yeah.
it was in there too.
Yeah.
They have reduced prices sometimes. Depends, because some of his were like on a ridiculous sale. Some of his old books, like $5 or less, was crazy. But anyway, back to OSL. They've been on Zoom worldwide for the entire year. And what they did do was they started a new group of 20 and 30-year-olds, and then they started another group. They're trying to reach out to teenagers because they notice so many of them are committing suicide. So they thought that I've still been getting not only the Sharing magazine, but they send me a different thing every month. And I didn't bring the one for this month, but they send information and then the prayers that we used to pray for everybody, because I know Joy and I had talked about that was too much to do that. So what I did, we're not able to put the articles in the Crestwood Sun anymore. They are not allowing religious articles, but under Father Paul's umbrella of, he writes his column because the ministers are allowed to write their columns under their column. And what we've been doing is any articles for any events at this church, we make sure that when we turn them in, they go under first this column and then those. So if I want to write anything about OSL, we won't be writing our articles like we used to all. We took turns, but we can write something. Probably I'll write maybe about the induction of the newest members. I'll put an article in for that one. And yesterday, this last week, if you have email, they did send out for voting, and it's one person running.
I remember.
I sent an email to Carolyn Ray because this was the craziest thing. One day I get a notice that I should vote, and it says ignore this, and then the next one comes up and says vote here. So I go to vote, and it says you're too late, and I'm not, because the deadline's like the 20th or something. So I didn't know. I asked her when I asked her about the induction. I said, what am I to do about the voting? I want to vote. She said, that's odd. Don't ask me what happened. Yesterday, later on in the day, I could vote, and I did. I don't get it. I have no clue. But yesterday, this came in the morning. It's the River of God OSL Leadership Retreat, and they're doing it on October 7th through 9th. It will be online rather than in person.
Close, Carol.
Oh. Hi,
Hey.
Carol. How you doing?
Hi, Carol.
Good to see you.
No, it's okay. I understand. We're partly on this already, so I'll just update you on the two most important, or three most important things. We just agreed that Bill could be a co-convener with me. When this group first started, Bernice and Irving were co-conveners. Then Irving stepped aside so I could become a co-convener. And then Bernice said she couldn't do it anymore. So I've been all by myself. I don't even know how many years, 10 years or something. And so we decided that we should have Bill as a co-convener because you never know in life what happens. And then I did connect with Carolyn Ray, our regional coordinator, and I asked her about inducting you and Margaret because you both have completed all the assignments. Connie did not, so I don't even know where she is. But so Connie said I had two options. Since Father Paul's our chaplain, we can either do it here with a service, at a service, or she can do it on Zoom. So I asked Father Paul today, and he was agreeable. I have the copy of the service. I member